All right. Welcome back to the channel, subscribers. Gervonta Davis, who I think is one of the best fighters in boxing, is going all out wanting to fight Tevin Farmer. I think that is a fight that should happen soon, along with the Lomachenko fight. But Tevin Farmer doesn't seem like he's wanting it too much. Also, I think people are seriously underrating Gervonta Davis. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Also, definitely check out the Patreon for my Patreons. Check out the Patreon. We got a new video up on advanced negotiation tactics, dealing with getting a yes or getting past a no when you're dealing with really, really difficult people. Practical business and personal life lesson I think you'll really like. Also, thank you to everybody that supports on the through the Cash App and the super chats on the live streams that we do. You guys are really making the channel click. Thank you guys very, very much. So let's talk about this, man. I'm still on a little bit of a I'm a little bit elevated still off of Gervonta Davis's fight with Nunez that happened this weekend. He was fighting in Baltimore. He's fighting in his hometown of Baltimore, stops Nunez in the second round. Man, looked like an absolute monster doing it. I think this is, what is he on, a 10? I think he's on a 9 or 10 fight knockout streak. I think he's now roughly 21. Is he 22-0 with 21 knockouts, something like that? At 130 pounds, man, this guy is an absolute, this guy's a monster. Okay. And I think that he's clearly the best 130-pound fighter. But the way that he's got to prove it, and I've been going back and forth with you guys in these live streams, and I've been going back and forth with people on, in the comment section of the video that I did, post-fight video. I respect 100% what you guys are saying, that you're going to hold your breath and wait on Tank to fight somebody before you believe that this guy is the real deal. I'm telling you, I already think he fought somebody that proved that he was the real deal. Jose Pedraza, he had moved up. Gervonta Davis had moved up, take a huge jump in the class of fighter he was fighting when he fought Jose Pedraza in his 18th fight, right? But before that, he was fighting guys that could be considered journeymen. He took the leap from being somebody that was a prospect to somebody who was a champion. He never went through the contender phase. I think what Floyd Mayweather Jr. does, and I'm going to do a rare defense of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and the path that he's taken Gervonta Davis. I think Gervonta Davis, after he got to the 130-pound title by knocking out Jose Pedraza, who by the way, is a guy that gave Lomachenko the second best fight of Lomachenko's career, other than the first, being the guy that took Lomachenko's undefeated record away from him, Orlando Salido, right? And Orlando Salido will come into play in this conversation. But I think Floyd took him back to contender type of fights. He did it winning championships, right? Winning the IBF belt, fighting Liam Smith, fighting Francisco, what was his name? Fonseca, fighting this guy, fighting Jesus Cuellar, fighting this guy Nunez, even though he wanted to fight Abner Mares, but Abner Mares, he had a eye injury, wink, wink, right? Regardless, that's where I think he was. So I know that Gervonta Davis is a champion, but I still look at him as somebody that Floyd Mayweather Jr. was developing and letting him get his inside the ring, issues together, because his skill set in that fight, that no-look overhand right that he hurt that guy with today, man, was nothing short of just beautiful. Now it is time, though, to fight Tevin Farmer. And I think, at least I'm hoping now, that this is going to be the time, right at about 22, 23, 24 years old, at 22 fights, that he is going to start stepping up and trying to unify belts. After the fight took place, he said that he wants to fight Tevin Farmer. that he thinks he's going to break every bone in Tevin Farmer's body. Tevin Farmer and him, one guy being from Philadelphia, the other guy being from Baltimore. I think this is a beautiful situation for these guys to get together and fight, and the winner to really elevate themselves and become the top guy at 130 pounds. I do not see a way that Tevin Farmer can beat him. I don't see a way that Miguel Berchelt can beat him. I don't see a way. Now I have to look at at Herring a little more closely because I haven't seen him fight a lot. So I'll leave him out of the equation for right now because I haven't seen enough. I haven't seen enough of him to say whether or not he'll be able to hang with Gervonta Davis. But in my mind's eye, from what I've seen, I mean, I'm having a hard time believing that even if I watch his fights very closely, that I'm going to see something that is going to prevent him from doing that, from fighting. It would allow him to be able to beat Gervonta Davis. So now Tevin Farmer says that Gervonta Davis isn't the boss. He's not calling any shots. And, Lou Duva, I haven't heard Lou Duva sound, incredibly excited about the fight. So we'll see if that fight happens. At That's where I see Gervonta Davis. That's where I see Gervonta Davis really moving in to being, at the world, at the world class, at the world championship level. Again, I think what he did was he was going along as a prospect. He skipped prospect, went to contender when he knocked out Jose Pedraza. And a lot of people are really underestimating what that fight meant. They're really underestimating the skill set of that kid how in the world, you have to be one heck of a skilled dude to jump up from nowhere and beat Jose Pedraza. Jose Pedraza moved up into the 135-pound division and beat Ray Beltran. And then he went the distance with Vasyl Lomachenko. Wasn't Lomachenko in that particular fight. Lomachenko was the better fighter. Lomachenko definitely won the fight. I loved how Lomachenko switched to a plan B and knocked down Jose Pedraza. But that was a tough fight. That was a challenging fight for Vasyl Lomachenko. That guy there was not a challenging fight for Gervonta Davis. And I'm going to approach, and I'm going to say this again, I'm going to be, after having watched what happened in that ring with Gervonta Davis, I am going to be sticking with this line relative to Lomachenko. Lomachenko and Bob Arum. I just did a video earlier today talking about Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. and the bridge that divides the two. There's probably a very big bridge that is between Gervonta Davis and Lomachenko because it's not just Al Heyman involved in the dispute. Now you have Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Bob Arum involved in that. And there's very sticky feelings in between the two of them from what I can see. But it would be in the best interest if Lomachenko wants to win that fight, to make that fight now. If you do not make that fight now, if he does, I'm telling you, I don't care what Black Fight Fan TV says. I don't care what you guys say in this, come in here. I'm telling you, I'm 96% on this. If that fight does not take place in the next 12 months, Lomachenko is going to get stopped by Gervonta Davis. Let me repeat this. If this fight does not happen in the next 12 months, Vasyl Lomachenko is going to get stopped by Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis has improved. You look at what he did in that fight. Look what he technically did in that fight. Look at how he approached the fight. He had no out of competition issues. He made weight by a half a pound. His defense, the guy could barely lay a glove on him up close. He's getting better. He's getting older. His body is maturing. And he also has a lot of things about him a lot in common with Vasyl Lomachenko. Before the fight, watching how this guy was fighting when he was 5 and 6 years old, this guy has been groomed as a fighter from a very, very early age. He has a dominant amateur record, but he was designed and trained as an amateur to be a pro. He is a better athlete than Vasyl Lomachenko is. He's a better puncher than Vasyl Lomachenko is. He's got extremely, extremely good defense. He's very confident and he's very aggressive, punching when you punch. I'm telling you, that's a recipe for disaster for Vasyl Lomachenko. Look at what happened with the Orlando Salido fight. That type of pressure. Now, Lomachenko is a different fighter since then, but he's also a lot older. Lomachenko has gotten dropped, getting caught square by Jorge Linares. Jorge Linares is not a puncher near what Tank Davis is. His hand speed, the hand speed issues that Jose Pedraza caused him, switching angles with him and punching while he was punching. That's going to be doubled up when you're dealing with Gervonta Davis, because Gervonta Davis is doing the same thing, but all those things hurt. So, we'll see what happens. Especially first with the Tevin Farmer fight. Tevin Farmer, I don't think that's going to go 6 rounds. Unless Tevin Farmer's just running, literally puts the track shoes on and starts running. I'm not sure how many fights he has, but he might have 6 or 7 knockouts, somewhere around there, under 10 knockouts. He can't punch. And that'll be a unified championship. Hopefully we'll get to see that fight next. And if that happens, if Gervonta Davis moves up, then we'll see the Lomachenko fight. But quite honestly, I doubt it. I think he might try to get the Berchelt fight, maybe the Herring fight. I got to see who the promoter for Herring is. But, anyway, that's what I hope I see. Hope we see out of Tank and out of Gervonta Davis. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.